Hey, all you Gretas and Shutezcats out there. Welcome to section 4 of the notes. We're looking at the metric system and dimensional analysis. You will have to know how to do dimensional analysis for all of the tests and then definitely the AP exam at the end of the year. This is science, so we live in the metric world. You can see on this beautiful map, all of the green is everywhere that uses the metric system, and then all of the pink is who uses not the metric system or the empirical system. So we're kind of behind. We need to get caught up with the rest of the world. So science uses the metric system. We'll be using the metric system. Here are some examples of temperature and length and volume and speed in different things. So things you know, converting it to metric. So use these as reference points if you so choose. All right, so once again, this is who go. All right, I'm going to walk you through this stuff. This is in your notes, so you don't have to listen to me if you don't want to, but I just wanted to walk people through things if they needed it. So the basic units we will be using this year are the meter, the gram, and the liter. And then you can get larger, kilo, hecto, and deca, or smaller, deci, centa, or milli. So you've got options for these things. I'm just literally moving the decimal point to the right or multiply. If you are going larger, you're going to move the decimal point to the left or divide. Fairly standard, and it's all units of 10, so you just move the decimal point. All right, so 1,123 milligrams would be, that should be 1.123 grams. 109 grams would be, we're going this way. 14 kilometers is 14,000 meters. So if you want to say, whoa, I just ran 14 kilometers, or man, I just ran 14,000 meters, whichever one makes you sound more impressive. 1.2 liters is 1,200 milliliters. So what I would recommend doing, and this is in your packet, I would attempt these first, and then, so pause this, attempt these, and then see how you do. I'm not going to walk through all of these, but here are the answers for you guys. So there you go. Make sure here are a lot of really awkward conversions, which is why the metric system is super, super easy. But we will definitely be doing dimensional analysis because a lot of times we'll take what we are familiar with and then move it into the metric system. So when you're doing analysis, you're going to take 1 unit at the top and the same amount on the other side. So 1 yard equals 3 feet. 60 minutes equals an hour. So more often than not, if you need to know one of these things for dimensional analysis, it will be given to you in the problem itself. Here is a great video. It takes about a minute, so I'm not going to play it now, but if you go back to just the notes that are on Canvas, I would highly recommend watching this. It's a great little video. If you've not seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, shame on your parents for not educating you properly, and go and watch that. You probably can find it on Netflix. But going off of that, there we go. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones tries to remove a gold idol from a booby-trapped pedestal. He replaces the idol with a bag of sand. If the idol has a mass of 2 kilograms, how many liters of sand must he place on the pedestal to keep the mass-sensitive booby trap from activating? The density of sand is 3 grams per cubic centimeter. So it says step 1, write down the units you want in your final answer. So I need liters of sand per idol. A lot of people get really overwhelmed with dimensional analysis. I promise it's not that bad. So we're going to baby step our way through it. If this stuff makes sense to you, great. We're going to do an activity about this in class. And then there's the online version as well for those of you who are doing the virtual. Please ask me questions. We will practice this a lot this year. You guys will be fine. So step 1, figure out what you need and write that down. So we need liters of sand per idol. Then you're going to begin your conversions with the unit in the numerator that you want in your final answer. So we are starting with 1 liter. What do we know? 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. All right. Shouldn't have overwhelmed anyone so far. Now you're going to set up the conversion so that each denominator is canceled out with the next numerator until you finally have the denominator that you want in your final answer. So we have 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. We know that 1 milliliter is the same as 1 cubic centimeter. So look, milliliters cancel out, one thing gone. We know that 1 cubic centimeter is 3, look, they tell us right here, 3 grams. So once again, cubic centimeters cancels out. And we know that we have 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So now the grams have canceled out. And we know, let me move me to the top. We know that our idle is 2 kilograms. So look at that. We are down to liter per idle. We've canceled out everything else. You knew all of these things. None of these things were hard. None of things were difficult. Half of them were just given to you. So we've got that. Then you're going to complete the multiplication across the top and across the bottom, and then divide if needed. So we have 1 times 1 times 1 times 1,000 times 2 divided by 1,000 times 1 times 3 times 1. So it literally comes down to 2,000 divided by 3,000, or 0.667 liters of sand, which is the weight of the idle. And if you watch the video, you find out whether or not he actually did that or not. You guys are actually allowed to use calculators this year. Last year was the first year that APE students were allowed to use calculators on the exam. Before that, they had to do all multiplication and division by hand. So you guys don't have to do that, but you do still need to know how to set up the dimensional analysis. So there we go. Not too hard, just got to set it up correctly and go from there. So in Europe, gasoline is sold by the liter. Assume that it takes 14 gallons of gas to fill the tank of a compact car. How many liters of gasoline will it take? And they give you 1 gallon equals 3.8 liters. So we need liters of gasoline per car. We know we have 3.8 liters of gasoline per gallon, and we know we have 14 gallons per car. Multiply, divide by 1. So we have 53.2 liters of gasoline per car. You can use decimal points for liters of gasoline. I will give you an example in a second where you cannot use decimal points. Some owls maintain territories of up to 3 acres. How many owls could live in a large wooded area of 20 hectares? 1 hectare is 2.47 acres. So we know we have 1 owl in 3 acres. We have 2.47 acres in a hectare. See, the acres cancel out. And we have 20 hectares in 1 area that we're looking at. So the acres cancel out, the hectares cancel out, and we're left with owl per area. This gives us 16.47 owls per area. You can't have half of an owl. That's really creepy and gross. So you're going to go ahead and round down for that. So you have 16 whole owls that can live in that area. So there you go. All right, that is the dimensional analysis part of the lesson. We will be reviewing more in class. You can see all of what we're going to be doing in class. It is on page 18 in your packet. So if you want to look at that part of the packet and then practice and do as many of the dimensional analysis that are on Canvas as you can, then when you come to class on Monday, Tuesday, whenever I see you, we'll be working on them in class. So if you have questions, I can answer those specific questions instead of you looking at all of the problems for the first time on those days. So I will see you then. Before I go, I want to remind each and every one of you that you are good enough, you are smart enough, and people like you. And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good God, do your homework.